We will mention some new features in each. What sets them apart, software architecture, differences between the two, a pricing comparison, which is very valuable, and then a live demo of each solution. We're going to take about 10 minutes on each demo. And if you do have questions during this session, please put them in the questions box, which we will be maintaining throughout the session. So a bit of product history as we get going here. Dynamics and Sugar have been around for a while in the early 2000s. Microsoft, more of a Microsoft Stack product, obviously. And a lot of you may know Microsoft or even have rights to it because it's included in maybe your Power Pack that you get as a partner or a subscriber. So a lot of people have Microsoft. We get that a lot. Hey, we have it, but we don't really know how to use it. It has strong integrations to the stack, obviously. So SharePoint, marketing, Outlook, of course. And now, Garrett will be showing us later in the session here, Dynamics CRM Online as integrated to 365, which is pretty powerful. Microsoft finally got their offering together to really compete with Google Apps, among other online email and document procuring software like Google Apps. And they have a very strong offering. So Garrett's going to be touching on that today in the live demo. Sugar is a CRM-focused platform. They really pride themselves in just being CRM. They're not dabbling in other areas. It's really, really strong in CRM. Open source roots. These guys were founders in the open source movement. And Sugar 7 was launched in 2013, which we're very excited about. And it brought to us a very nice, slick UI that we're going to be showing today. They're actually over 500 employees now. And they have some really big name clients. As you would think Dynamics does as well, huge clients. But Sugar is entering the enterprise market and they're becoming a main challenger of Dynamics, which is maybe why many of you are here today. And a large developer community as well. Dynamics has a marketplace. Sugar's had one, I think, a bit longer. So lots of third-party integrations, lots of people developing against the platform and creating awesome integrations that help adoption. We know both products really well, which is a unique situation. So some of the biggest differentiators which we agreed on in-house here, certainly interface, right? That's number one, and that's what we're going to be looking at today in the live demo. The back-end language. Microsoft's part of the stack written in C#, and Sugar being an open source platform written in PHP. So there's quite a large and strong developer community around Sugar because most software developers and kids coming out of college have taken a PHP course, so they can grasp and understand the language in which it's written. We've got native integrations on the Dynamics side, of course, very strong, to other Office Stack products. Strong with service companies, help desk software. There are a lot of companies that we see using Microsoft as a help desk kind of only, and it's very strong there. And of course, again, those native integrations to 365. There's a button now when you're in 365 that's just like add CRM. That just started happening, and so it's kind of a natural progression into adding on CRM, even for small businesses, which is a unique opportunity. And then they have a Windows mobile offering for Dynamics, which Sugar is, I believe, lacking to this day, although not super high demand for that. And then, of course, on the Sugar side, we've got strong with tech companies. Yeah, we see a lot of software companies using Sugar, a lot of startups. Companies that are looking to use Sugar as a platform. That's what platform play really is. We see a lot of companies come to us that envision this beautiful circular vision of an integrated system of landing a client, doing your marketing, nurturing through the CRM, landing that client, sending an invoice, keeping track of it, integrating with your accounting, integrating with other in-house systems. So CRM is no longer just a Rolodex, and that's what Sugar's proven. And we've made some pretty impressive integrated solutions for customers on Sugar as a platform. You wouldn't even know that it's a CRM. It's pretty cool. And great free apps with Droid and Apple. Deployment options are the same. So these are two very similar products, and we're really excited to do this webinar because We haven't done this comparison before, and oftentimes we're comparing Sugar and Salesforce because we seem to come up against that a little more. But Microsoft, with the new UI and with the 365, you do see a little more interest now in Microsoft because honestly, the UI is just better. It's a better looking product than it used to be, a little easier to use. So we see these two coming up against each other quite a bit, and we'll get into pricing too. But these offerings here, on demand, very clear, they host it for you for no extra charge. That's a great offering, especially for a new or small company. You don't have to worry about hosting this thing anymore. On the opposite end, you could take it on-premise, and both solutions allow you to do that. On-premise meaning on your hardware in your environment if you choose. And then private cloud, which is like a Rackspace and EC2. You can host it in a private cloud as well. So lots of flexible options here. And we do see people in the finance space looking at both of these products, insurance, healthcare, anything that they have to be super conscious about privacy or HIPAA compliance. You can make each of these solutions compliant in any environment with the hosting option. So it's usually not the product that's HIPAA compliant, it's the hosting and how people can access the system that determines the privacy and the security settings. Outlook and Gmail connectors, both super strong here. Dynamics, we're going to say, and I know Garrett will say, stronger than Sugar out of the box. Dynamics has that native ribbon integration with Outlook, obviously, because it's the same company. So you're going to get a stronger integration out of the box with Dynamics CRM than you would with Sugar. However, Sugar does have a native integration for no fee that we'll talk to, and then an awesome integration that rivals Microsoft's Outlook integration, which we here at BrainCell have invented. It's called BrainLink. It's an extra fee, but it brings you up to the same point, the same level as the Dynamics integration, I argue. Garrett might try to prove me wrong today. And then we also have a Gmail integration, which is an extra charge for each, but very strong. And we'll talk to that. We're not going to go into that in the demo, but both very strong, and you can find those on the marketplaces. So those are an extra fee. Ooh, live demo. So I won the coin toss. I'm going to be going first. Garrett, can you see my screen all right? All right. Here we go. On the live demo. I'm going to be starting with Sugar. I'm actually going to start myself a timer here. And we can see here an entry screen to Sugar. Now what Garrett and I are going to do are take 10 minutes each. We're going to run through each product, 10 minutes each. We're going to spar it out here. So we've got a flow that we're going to follow, and this is a traditional CRM flow. If any of you know CRM, you're going to be familiar with this flow. We're going to be entering a lead, converting the lead into a contact with an account or a customer, adding an op, and then showing you that whole sales process, a holistic process, and ending with the Outlook integration. First, though, we're going to get into dashboarding. So here I am on a Sugar dashboard. You can see I can pretty much show anything. I've got a really nice nav bar here on the top, and I can customize anything. Both of these solutions extremely customizable. So there's a lot here. And oftentimes we have companies who have, let's say, intern users or admin users who need less permissions. And we're able to do that by showing fewer areas of the system and making it more straightforward. Both systems are capable of doing that. Up here, I've got my global view, and I'm able to put anything I want throughout the system here on a dashboard. And I'll just show you really quick how I can edit this dashboard, go down, and I can edit and make 1, 2, 3 column layouts. So what I'm seeing here is a 3 column layout. Well, let me make it 2 bigger areas, and I want to add some reports. Drill into a report. I can choose from any report, custom or otherwise, and Sugar comes with about 22 reports already set up in the system. So this is not a shell that you're getting. What I'm showing today is a demo system. Garrett's going to be doing the same thing where it shows how the system is laid out from the onset. So you're going to get all these fields and areas and modules configured already, minus, of course, the dummy data. So let's do calls by teams by user. That sounds good. I could change the chart output. I could show the title as total, sure, total of 72, sounds good. I want to stack the data. I want to hide empty stuff. I want to show a legend. So I can actually manipulate the output of the report within the dashlet, which is pretty awesome. And now I have a by teams by user. And an overarching statement here on both products, extreme security functionality. So I can set up roles for teams and people and have them see different things in the system. So both systems are capable of that, certainly. And then also, these are my favorite things. List views are very strong. I would like to see opportunities. OPP, there we go. And these are all the column headers. And I can switch these around. I can take them out. I can totally mess with the layout. And I love this because every person can see a different thing. I want the user here. I want to show 10 data columns. And maybe I want to narrow this down, not to just show me my opportunities, but maybe I'm a manager. And I want to create a filter, let's say, of opportunities by status, or maybe by probability. I want to show everything that is greater than 70%. It's actually going to narrow down my filter results to show these criteria in a list view. I could add another one like show me those that are assigned to Jim that are 70% or anything like that. Save. Successful, and here we go. Now I'm able to see all of my opportunities company-wide that I'm allowed to see, of course, that have a likelihood of over 70%. Save, and I've configured my dashboard. I can have multiple dashboards as well as what you're seeing here, KPI, sales ops, anything like that. So that's a quick thing on dashboarding. One thing that's very powerful in Sugar is the process engine. That's an enterprise, and we'll go over pricing later. But I can actually lay out processes and then see when things are firing. And for example, right here, there's a new lead. It needs to be routed somewhere because it didn't get caught up in the process. So I could actually go in and route it. A lot here to cover. So let's go on to leads. Everything here, if I click on it, goes to a list view. And these are all the leads in the system right now, and you can see this awesome mini dashboard, which of course I could expand out and see my whole list view here. That filtering that I did in the beginning, I can follow through right here. So here's a save filter that I made at some point. I can click into it and see that the lead source equals any of these things. This is fantastic for marketing. I can hit all these leads, and I can put them in a target list for the intern to call, or the target list can pick up on MailChimp or Acton or Marketo, or the sky's the limit here for marketing. Or I could, of course, export them if I wanted to. Send them a hard copy mailing or something. But let's create a new lead now. And I can do that, so many ways. A new lead could come in from the website. I could create one right here, but just by clicking this button. I could also create one through Outlook, which is the majority of the time what I like to do. If someone random emails me and says, hey, I want a demo or whatever, I don't have to go into Sugar to enter it. I can enter it right from Outlook. Saves me a ton of time. That means that I'm going to use the system. So we're looking for adoption here. Those Outlook integrations are absolutely crucial for people to actually use what you have and what you're paying for. So I'm pressing Create Lead. And I'm prompted with a little layover screen, very nice. And with both systems, you can add as many custom fields as you want. And they can be required or not. So what you're seeing here is just one field is required. Probably not a great idea. You might want to make email address required too. But let's just go through this, and let's say Larry Doyle, spelled funny, and his mobile number, his account name, he is from Blue Cross, and his email address is Doyle at Blue Cross. and save. I could, of course, show more here, and I could even integrate this to Marketo, which there is a native integration to, as well as act on several other marketing automation systems. That means that this guy could go into my Marketo campaign with the click of a button. Awesome. I will save Larry, and there we go. Larry's added. He may not show up in my list because he doesn't qualify, but I'm going to click on him, and what you're seeing here is a brand new lead that I'm favoriting, so he's always going to show up in my list, which you can see here. And I can see that he's unconverted, so he's in the initial stages of selling. And again, we're showing you with an out-of-the-box kind of B2B process. People do a lot of different things with the system. They don't always follow this exact flow, but traditionally this is what happens. So you can see here, this is all inline editable. This is huge, really easy for me to say he's a manager of IT and his website and whatever, save. Everything down below is metadata that's linked to Larry. It's part of his journey. And on the right, I've got a summation of the metadata. Sounds fun. Well, let me open up Brandy, open her in a new tab, which you can do. I can have lots of tabs open, which I do all day. And Brandy has a little bit more on her record. So you can see here, she has a little bit of a journey. I have some calls that were canceled or scheduled and past due, shame on Chris, or held. And I can click into this and I can see what's gone on. And I can see the meetings, I see the history, what happened, what users were involved, what did they do. This is all time-stamped and users cannot change these things. It's like a Facebook feed. And see the whole journey. Notes are my favorite. Go right here in notes and I can see, yeah, someone created a note, happened to be Chris. All of it is right here, and of course I could go into it and actually see the full note record if I wanted to. So that's how they're harnessing dashboards. It's fantastic. Okay, so Larry's qualified himself to me. That means maybe I know what he's going to buy, or I met his coworker. At this point, we make a rule internally, and that's pretty much it with us. It's, there's a chance, and I know someone, and I know what they're going to sell, so I'm going to convert them so I can move them up the cycle. And there's a conversion report that you get with Sugar too, which is great. So I can see how many people are converting these leads. So I hit that convert button, and this is a multi-stage process. So I can see here, all this info is here for me to embellish, and yeah, he's in IT. This is doing a dupe check too. So it's looking for anyone Larry Doyle while I'm filling it out. And I'm hitting associate. So I'm promoting Larry up, creating a new contact record for him. Blue Cross does not exist. And he's still a prospect. So this is me segmenting my data to make my marketing manager happy. And it's assigned to whoever is logged in, or maybe I can assign it to someone here on the fly. And there you go. Associate. And at this point, this is completely optional. I don't have to put it in an op, but maybe I know that I'm going to sell Larry something. I'm going to sell Larry 100 users of Sugar. And it's going to close by end of year, very hopeful. And it's likely that I'm going to sell him a whole bunch of stuff, and it's going to be $250K. Sugar would be a lot less than that. And he's in a certain stage. So this is now creating my pipeline. He's in this stage, and it's influencing this calculated field here. So as I move him up the pipeline, look at that, the probability changes. Awesome. Moves it up my pipeline. I press associate, creates it, and bam, save and convert. And 3 things happen here. Well, really 4. Larry now goes as a history record, and he's archived the lead. But these are the hierarchy here. I can see that he's got an account, which is the height of this record, Blue Cross. There's a contact, and there's an opportunity all at once. So here we are. I've got Blue Cross as the account. This is the parent. The child is Larry. And I can keep adding contacts here to build out this journey. save, and I'm building out my Rolodex here. Look at this. I've got that 250,000 opportunities showing. This is fantastic graphical stuff, because if this person calls in, or Blue Cross calls in with a complaint or an issue, the person answering the phone is going to know that there's a lot at stake. And who are they going to talk to? They're going to talk to Wayne, because Wayne is the rep that holds the 250,000, and you bet he's going to want to know about a support case. And I've got full case functionality here too. All this metadata is related up to Blue Cross, and I can move this stuff around. I also have a news feed that's picking up on the account names. So for really big companies, this is awesome. It's just really aggregating all the Google stuff. And then, of course, it shows me if there's something in my Outlook calendar for Blue Cross or Larry, it would show the meeting here across me or my team. So I'm going a little bit over, but I'm going to show really quickly the Outlook integration. Then, Gary, I'm going to hand it over to you.
I am keeping track, too.
I'm sorry. I'm over, but I just need to do it justice, right? Got to do it justice. So here we go. Jordan, you're my record today. This is our enhanced $12 a month per user integration. Yeah, I'm showing this because the Sugar's out of the box just really archives emails, and that's kind of all it does. In order for me to compete with Garrett, I have to show this add-on. So we'll talk to the pricing too. $12 a user a month extra for Sugar. So what I'm seeing here, when I land on Jordan's email in my my inbox, is his full contact history and information in Sugar right here. I can open this stuff up, and I can see if I have any appointments with him, tasks, anything, and I can even create an opportunity. He told me that he wants 10 users of Sugar. Custom fields come in. Probability is 80%, which could be influenced here. He's in the quote stage. Opportunity amount is $4,800 because Sugar is $40 a user a month. And I'm going to close him by the end of the month. Save. This creates an opportunity that shoots it up to Sugar on the next sync, which is like 5 minutes, and that'll show in a minute. So extremely powerful, and of course archiving emails, that's basic. When I reply to him, I'm able to archive and send, or I can just send it automatically, which is easy. So when I send this, I can change the subject line and say discount offered. That means that when I'm in Jordan's record in Sugar, I can pick out this email by perusing my email list and see exactly where I offered him this discount, instead of seeing a crazy long list of emails that I can't decipher from. And I can manually associate him with someone totally different, or I can associate him with just his out-of-the-box contact that matches his email. And I can schedule a follow-up task for 2 weeks away, or 4 weeks away, or whatever. This creates a task for me to follow up with Jordan. It's also going to show in my task list in Outlook. So I could work like 90%. Yeah, it doesn't want to archive my logo. That's good. I could work about 90% in Microsoft Outlook using Sugar and never going to Sugar. And that is the goal. So sorry, Garrett, I totally took 15 minutes.
That's fine. I can talk for a while, too.
So, Garrett, I'm going to hand it over to you. And I'm also going to, I know Jordan has done an awesome job of answering some of the questions in the chat, and we'll probably speak to some of those after. So hang tight, guys, and we'll try to answer them through texting as well. Awesome, Garrett. We can see your screen. Go for it.
Wonderful. Yeah, we'll be happy to, and if we don't get to your questions because of the allotted time, we're happy to make some calls, follow up with you guys, whatever you guys want to do. Will be fine with us. Fantastic job, Sonia. The similarities between Sugar and Microsoft CRM really start with the navigation bar at the top of the CRM screen. So here you can see at the top of the navigation bar, I've got the ability to go into all the different areas of the CRM program. Today we're going to focus on the sales, but If I was a service user, if I was dealing cases all the time, if I was working with a service calendar, trucks on the road, so on and so forth, I may log in and only see the service area. If I was in the marketing department and I only dealt with campaigns and email integration with say Dynamics marketing, I may only log into the marketing section of CRM. It's a big program, and you trim this down depending on the position of the end user. So we'll stick in sales here, and if I look at the sales drop down, I can see all the different entities that make up the sales component. And just like SugarCRM, where we can customize exactly which modules the user needs to see on a user-by-user, case-by-case, or team-by-team scenario, Microsoft CRM is going to work the same way, right? Maybe sales users aren't going to be using the quotes or orders or invoices section. It simply goes to ERP. So we clean all this up so we can really just drive those end users to doing their job. The first thing a user typically sees or typically wants to see when they log into their CRM database is the dashboards view. And I will say that I've been thoroughly impressed with the dashboard capabilities over the last couple of years with Microsoft CRM. In this example, this is just a brief overview dashboard showing multiple different dashlets like the current sales pipeline, leads by source, cases by priority, my current activities for the day. I could click on this drop down and I could see roughly, I think it's roughly 20 different system dashboards that come with Microsoft CRM out of the box. Of course, I could also create my own personal dashboards, and administrators can set default dashboards depending on the view that the user is looking at. Dashboards that are system dashboards are really controlled by administrators, but as a user, creating a personal dashboard allows me to really make this startup view look any way I particularly need to work. Okay, dashboards can get very intricate. For example, if I was to go through to, let's see, the sales activity dashboard, again, a system dashboard that comes with CRM out of the box, you'll notice that there are roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different dashlets that make up one section of the dashboard. In other words, I don't want to have to switch between dashboards, but I need to see a lot of information in front of me. So I create separate sections of the dashboard. And that allows me to expand and collapse these different sections to see different dashboards in different sections. Okay. Interesting things about dashboards, I could take something like this sales leaderboard and I could immediately switch over to a list view of all the records that the sales leaderboard is drawing from, all hyperlinked, all available to go back to the absolute opportunity, the account record, the contact record. I could do all of that from here. I could take this information and export it directly to Excel to work with dynamic worksheets or Power Pivot tables. I could export it directly to my Excel online and make changes to these records, all from within the main dashboard. And of course, I'll talk about filtering in a minute, because as I bring up this list of records based on that dashboard, I also get a subpanel with some additional information here. And as I change my view, this panel is going to change. So let me just go ahead and close that back down. If I needed to have a dashboard available to me, but I always wanted to see it in a bigger view, I don't have to take up my entire screen. I can still have that dashlet available to me, knowing that I can always just simply enlarge it. So here I am. I need to get a finer look at this leaderboard, so I just click on the expansion option. And now I'm just going to close that right down. Okay. Some dashboards actually have different filtering capabilities built right in. Filtering is a quick and easy way to get around your contacts, your leads, your opportunities in Microsoft CRM. I'll show you a little bit more of that in a second. But in this example, just to stay on point with dashboards, here we are looking at the My Open Leads dashlet, and I'm just going to change that over, and I'm going to say, show me all leads. Oh, there we go. You know what, let me just search for a lead real quick. I don't want to have to go to the leads module, so I'll just go here and go ahead and search for one and bring up that lead. Okay. Yay, demos. Okay. So the dashboard view is where a user typically goes to start their day, and the user simply just uses existing system dashboards. Administrators develop mandated dashboards, or they create their own personal views that help them work the way they want to work in CRM, so they can log in and get going through their day. Let's jump over to the leads view. So I'm going to click on my sales menu here, and I'm going to go over to leads, and I'm going to show you guys how Microsoft runs a lead to qualify them to an opportunity, which in turn creates the account record and the contact record. So in SugarCRM, what Sonia was showing was putting a lead into the lead bucket, nurturing that lead, qualifying that lead, and then clicking on a convert option. And then as it converts, it creates the opportunity, the contact, and the account. Microsoft CRM is a bit more process-driven. In other words, I'm just going to go up to the top left here. I can create a new lead. And as I create this new lead, you're going to see a ribbon appear at the top of the screen. This is an out-of-the-box ribbon, and it can be completely customizable to fit your business processes at your company. Okay, 1 second here. Never on a demo. Okay, folks, bear with me 1 second. This never happens when you're doing a demo.
Never. And Garrett,
so let's switch back over. Go ahead.
And you can use Microsoft CRM in different browsers too, right? You don't have to be using Explorer.
You can. I mean, in this particular example, I'm using Internet Explorer, but it works just fine in Chrome. It works on Safari browsers. You can use it on your iPad, your iPhone. You can use it on your Droid devices, as we mentioned in the screenshots before. That's not going to make a difference. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and create that new lead, and my business process ribbon is going to appear. I've got some field information at the top. You can see we're logged in as a system administrator. The status is going to be tagged as new, and the rating is automatically going to be set to warm. I do have the ability of tagging where this lead came from. Maybe it was a trade show for future data mining. The point is that as I'm creating this new lead and putting in all this information, as a user, I'm going to walk through several different steps, from qualifying that lead to developing a proposal to sealing that deal and winning that sale. And I'm going to do it using this process ribbon along with the rest of my team who's using this process ribbon, so that we're getting very, very good data out of the system. It's going to produce fantastic data out of the system, and it's also going to make sure that the data is absolutely perfect for future data analytics. It also increases the time of bringing a new salesman up to speed in your organization, because they simply just have to follow the processes within the system, learn those processes. The system's kind of teaching them along the way. Okay, so what do I have here? I've got a beautiful new process ribbon here, and I've got some fields that I've got to automatically start putting in. In this example, why don't I say needs new widgets? New widgets. That's what we're talking to this contact about. His name is going to be, oh, I don't know, Larry Doyle. And we've put his first name in there. He is the president. And throw in some mobile information here. Email L. Doyle, BlueCross.com. Company is Blue Cross. And the address is 12th Avenue, Suite 201 in Manasquan, New Jersey 08736. Okay, good. So I've added some address information, company information, some contact information about our lead. Okay, I've got some additional fields I can go to right now, like description, industry, annual revenue, just to fill in a couple of things here. And the source campaign, where this lead came from, so I can generate some analytics on that. Whether they have preferred contact methods. Again, this is just all out-of-the-box CRM, and it can be customized just like SugarCRM to fit specifically the information that you want to track. So I've put in my new lead, and I'm going to go ahead and just save that record. As I save the record, you'll notice some things become available to me. I'm now able to start walking through this business process ribbon. First question it's asking me is it an existing contact? Well, let me check. Does Larry Doyle exist in the system? Let me find out. Nope, we'd never talked to him before. Okay, good. So I'm going to move on. If he's not, he's probably not the same account. What is his time frame? He's looking to buy something right away. What's his budget? Let's just say 10, well, let's just a little bit more than that. Let's just say 10 grand. Now, good question out of the box with the business process. Is he the individual decision maker? Is it a committee, or do we just not know yet? The point is that the system's not going to let us move to the development phase until the system gets this type of information. Or maybe not. Or maybe you just develop the business process so everything can be filled out or may not have to be filled out. But we have identified he's a decision maker, and I'm going to put a little summary here. It's a bulk purchase. Okay. I filled out my entire criteria for the qualify section, and now as the lead record's been qualified, I'm going to go ahead and hit that qualify button. So I've taken this lead and I've now qualified him. And from this point on, Microsoft CRM is going to do a couple of different things. It's going to save that lead record, but it's also going to create an opportunity with him, because that's the next stage that I'm going to with that record. So now all of a sudden I've taken this lead record and I've moved it from a lead directly over to an opportunity. And I'm now in the development phase of working with this record. It's saved all of his lead information, and we've got some additional criteria that we need to fill out before we get to the next stage. So we've got questions like, what's the customer need? Have we proposed a solution? Yeah, we're going to sell them widgets. And is the stakeholders been provided? So with CRM, Larry may be our first lead that reaches us at Blue Cross, but there may be other people who are going to be involved in this decision. And at this point, I could actually go over to a stakeholder section and add those contacts to the opportunity, so I have all my information all in one view. I don't have to go searching around for the different people as I'm working this deal. Let's look in the middle here. I've got live activity stream happening under a post section. You can use this post section to update other people in the company about this opportunity, talk to other people about the deal, work with it. This type of streaming activities, posting activities is available to you in really every module of CRM. Leads, from the account records, from the contact records, from the case records. I've got my activities tab. This is where I will schedule my phone calls, my tasks, my emails. If you look back up to the sales ribbon, as a salesman, I'd be able to access a calendar here, and of course I would be able to see my calendar in my calendar in Outlook as well. If I wanted to see all my activity in more of a list view, I would just use the activities option over here on the left-hand side of the ribbon. Okay, and then finally I have a notes section. And in the notes section, I can add the ad hoc information, the information that we don't have a field for. I can put it all in here. I can also attach files to notes. And if I'm connected with SharePoint, I can attach those files and have them available to me in my SharePoint database as well. OneDrive, Delve, all those fascinating Microsoft 365 online tools that are available to you as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and go down here and forecast this deal at 15,000. Okay, even though he's budgeted only 10, we'll add it to my forecast of my pipeline, and there's my description. My probability at this point is probably going to be 50%, and we are in the develop stage of this sales cycle. Current situation, unhappy with existing relationship. Can't type. Existing relationship. Customer needs widgets, and do I have other people on my sales team that I'm going to work this opportunity with? Okay, I know who the other stakeholders are with Larry. This would allow me to actually share this opportunity with other users of CRM and also communicate with them about the opportunity. And then finally, down towards the bottom here, I've got my competitors area where I can track the competitors I may be competing against for further data analytics later on down the line. How many deals did we lose? How many opportunities were lost because of a competitor outbid us on price? So on and so forth. You're all going to have that out of the box with CRM. We also have product line items down here. We're going to add some in a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and check my process ribbon to see where I'm at. We have identified that we're not working against a competitor because they're unhappy with their current provider and they're only looking at us. So I've accomplished everything that I need to do in this develop stage. And at this point, I'm going to move on to the next stage. If this was a fast-moving opportunity, we might actually just close it and win it at this point. We can do that at any time. Or you can configure this system to make them go through the entire process if they need to. Okay, so the estimated revenue I think we're going to end up with is $18,000. And I think this is going to close by the end of the month. So let me just update that information as well. Good. We're in pretty good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next step. I'm going to go on to my proposed stage. Business processes can get very advanced if your company needs them. For example, I may want to configure this system so that if an opportunity has a value over $10,000, the business process changes. The business process gets more intricate because it's this type of product that we're offering. This business ribbon can change based on field criteria, which is really interesting. And it really adapts to the ways that your business processes are written in-house. In this example, nothing's going to change with the business process. I'm simply just going to move through the rest of this opportunity. We've identified the sales team. We are now going to develop a proposal. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to say that this is a reseller opportunity. The revenue is going to be system calculated. And I'm going to write in some widgets. So I'm going to write in a product called widgets. Price per unit is $1,000, and they're looking at 20 of them. Okay, so I've added my product line into this. I can also add my discounts. I can also add my freight and my total tax, and you can have all these things connected based on location, so on and so forth. So I have developed the proposal. I've done the internal review with my sales team, and now I'm going to present the proposal. And I'm going to do that by scrolling down below the line items and generating the quote. I hit the plus button, grabs all my information. From this point on, I now have a quote record. So I've moved from opportunity to quotes. It's all associated together. I can add additional information that's necessary for a quote, or simply just print the quote for the customer to get it off my desk and out to them via email. Okay. That quote looks good. I'm going to go ahead and activate that. I'm going to go ahead and close it down, and I'm going to move on to my next step. My next step is closed. Couple quick questions. Did we complete the final proposal? We did. Did we present the final proposal? We did. Are we sure that it's going to close by the end of the month? Well, in this example today, we're getting a call saying this deal is closing. So I'm going to send a thank you. I'm going to file the debrief, and I'm going to scroll down to my quote. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Again, I can close and win this opportunity directly from here, but because I have a quote identified with it, I'm going to go ahead and bring open that quote.
And Garrett, can you skip stages and modify this process?
You can. You can absolutely modify this
Okay.
process to anything that you want to do. Why don't we go back to the opportunity here? Needs new widgets. Go ahead and open that up. Okay. I'm going to go down here and take my quote. Having fun. Okay. We would take our quote and then simply just, there it is, close the quote or create the order. So I'm going to go ahead and create the order because the quote has been won. And as I create this order, I tell the system that the quote has been won, and I'm going to go ahead and close the opportunity as well. So I've just taken a lead and nurtured that lead with my business process, incorporated by the way our company works, and created a lead into an opportunity, created the opportunity into an order, closed that order as won, and then in doing so, mark that opportunity as won. Also, I've created the account and the contact at the same time. So here I can go back over to my accounts here, and I can see Blue Cross and Larry Doyle. I can see him from the account side, and I can see him from the contact side.
And Garrett, because we're pushing up against the clock here, would you mind showing us the Outlook integration, and then we'll have a few minutes for quotes? That'd be great.
Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Why don't I switch on over to Outlook and show you the behavior? I've been doing this through the Internet Explorer browser the entire time. Microsoft product and Microsoft product, right? So here we are, and built into my Outlook is Microsoft CRM. So here's where I would get my mail. Here's where I would be able to access all the integration that I'm able to do from the web browser. Again, if I'm a salesman, I may only see this sales entity here. Okay. If I was in marketing, maybe I'd only see the marketing folders. That's fine. It's however you want to configure it on a user-by-user basis. But same kind of views. You've got your different filtering capabilities. You've got all your contact information here. If you wanted to, you could double-click on an account or a contact record and open up that record directly from the browser. So here I am going to open up Blue Yonder, and it's going to load CRM and open that up here, even though my browser is not really behaving correctly right now.
Because it doesn't open in Outlook?
Well, I have it available to me right here down below. I've got all the information right below, but if I double-clicked on it, it would actually take me to CRM in a browser window.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then we've got our email integration. So I could switch over to mail, and I could go to, let's just take this junk email here. Have that. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and save this email message as an activity. I could set the regarding of this email message, basically associating it to a lead, to an account, to a contact. As I do that, as I track the email, all the correspondence are automatically going to be tracked. Okay. I also have the ability to go over to my CRM ribbon, create new emails, create phone calls, create appointments, any type of CRM activity, create accounts, create leads, all from within Outlook. So I don't have to really manage multiple systems. I can do it all in one version of Outlook. Now, come to 2016 with Office 365, okay, Office 365 will have full integration. So right now, if you look at Office 365, it does, you can access Microsoft CRM directly from 365. Come this next release, which is going to happen momentarily, you'll be able to attach emails and do all that kind of stuff directly from your Office 365 account. Okay, I probably took up more time than you did, Sonia. So let's go ahead and take some questions.
You did.
I like talking about it. I'm sorry, I do, and then I also had some browser issues, but anyway.
No, it's all right. So you did answer the question that you can kind of tailor that business ribbon process. And you know what? Before we get into QA, someone's just reminded me, I'm going to actually take presentership back and show the pricing screen.
Oh, perfect.
Because this is exciting stuff. Okay. So here we go on pricing. So what we've done here is taken 30 seats for a company, and we're showing 2 different versions. So this is the professional version. And you can see 65 a user a month for Dynamics and 40 a user a month for Sugar. You multiply that by 30 users over the 12 months, and that's what you get. That's not including the advanced Outlook plugin for Sugar, which you don't need, but when you add it, you're at $52 a user a month. So you're still $13 cheaper than Dynamics on that side. And then if we go up to the next package, which is Enterprise and Sugar, and the business process that Garrett just showed, I'd say is apples to Sugar Enterprise, because there's that business process manager that I briefly mentioned, and that's only in Enterprise. So you can kind of do the same thing, present people with the process, and that's through Sugar Enterprise. So that's 65 a user a month, and Dynamics Next Level, the sales productivity is 80 a user a month. So they're pretty close in pricing.
That would include your Office 365 account.
Ah, very good. So then you get email, you get Word.
You get your SharePoint, you get your OneDrive, you get your Delve, you get your Word Online,
wow.
Excel Online. You get all those Office tools plus Microsoft CRM, $80 a month.
Wow. Yep, that's great. So if you already have all that, or if you're a Google user, Sugar would be a great option for you. And you'd be able to get that at 65 user a month. Then you add on your email extension. So it's another 12 for Outlook, or 9 a month per user for Gmail, which is a great Gmail integration. So that's it on pricing. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And that all includes hosting as well. Are there nonprofit pricing capabilities for Dynamics, Garrett? Do you know? We know Salesforce does that.
Government and nonprofit. I don't have them off the top of my head because I don't talk to a lot of nonprofits or government agencies, but there is special pricing for them.
Okay, great. There's not traditionally for Sugar because it is such an aggressive rate, but you know, we've seen deals before. Let's see here.
I will say this too, Sonia. The Microsoft CRM package, if you are over, I believe it's 200 seats, you can apply for special pricing to help offset the cost of setup and implementation.
Okay. Yep, and there are definitely volume discounts for Sugar as well. Probably less than 200 users we've seen before. And archiving an email from within Outlook, is that similar than what I showed in the Sugar plugin? Where there's that kind of like that archive to Sugar button that we had in Outlook. Is it similar to archive an email in Dynamics? When you're in Outlook, is there a button to actually archive the email up into the CRM?
It's the tracking option. And
it's the tracking.
Also,
okay.
Yeah, and also what's been introduced is the ability to simply just take the email and drag it into a folder. And when you drag it into this designated folder, it's automatically archived.
Great. Okay, that's good. Is there an option to archive everything, including new contacts, or is it, you have to do that follow button?
I believe you have to do the follow button because it's a little bit more resource intensive the other way around.
Okay. And on the Sugar side with BrainLink, the add-in, you can set your preferences so that every email that you send that has a known contact or lead in Sugar just gets archived. So that's a good, busy person thing to have. This is an interesting one. It might be kind of nitty-gritty, but Garrett, can you share dashboards with all users? I know you can with Sugar. There's a $200 plugin in the marketplace, and you can actually set up dashboards for your users and deploy them out. It's a $200 plugin, one-time fee. Do you know if there's one for Dynamics?
So there's a couple of different options that you have. One, as an administrator, you simply just create system dashboards. And when you create the system dashboards, you can dictate who gets to see those dashboards.
Okay.
If you were an end user and you created a personal dashboard, yes, you can still share it out. It's a little bit, you got to actually, depending on where you're trying to move it to, you can either just share it or you can export it out and import it, and the other person can import it in. But yeah.
And is the look and feel still the same for the on-premise product? It is for Sugar. It's the exact same product. Is that true with Dynamics?
Correct. Yes, it is. It's
okay.
The same look and feel. What we're showing you guys today is 2015 Service Pack 1. That is the current release of on-premise.
Okay, and that's what I'm showing too, is the most current, which is 7.6 for Sugar. We had a question here by Kim. Do both of these integrate with 5.9? There's a third-party plugin that integrates Sugar and 5.9, and it's $12 a user month. It's awesome. We use it internally. I know 5.9 is making a native plugin for Sugar right now, and I'm not sure if it's the same for Dynamics. Garrett, do you know if they have a native plugin to 5.9 or other? I'm sure it's kind of similar to Sugar, right, where you have middleware kind of piece that connects the two, and that's across platform. I mean, it's phonality. There are a lot of different, basically, if you have a VoIP setup, you can integrate any phone to these CRMs through this middleware.
Yeah, I don't expect that to be a problem. I'm just researching it now. I don't believe there's an issue there.
Okay, great.
5.9 CRM integration does include Dynamics. Yes.
Okay, great. And we always have the question, and someone did ask, is there a higher implementation fee for one or the other? And Garrett, you've done implementations on both platforms, so you're a really good person to ask. But my personal opinion is it's usually pretty similar. What do you think as far as like getting started, and is it the same kind of effort?
Yeah, I mean, I think in either product, it's how far do you want to take it? I mean, how far do you want to go with these things? Do you want CRM tomorrow? Do you want Sugar tomorrow? Turn it on. That's the beauty of cloud, right? Just go online and turn it on, or call us and we'll turn it on for you. And now, do you want it heavily customized? Well, either one's going to take some time, but both of them are point and clicky. By which I mean, you're not talking about 6 months and $150,000 for a 10-seat shop or something like that. You're not talking about code. You're talking about using the back-end interface and the knowledge that you've learned about how to customize it and make it do what you want to do. And it's just all about putting those pieces together. So it's always an interesting question, but I don't think there's much of a difference in implementation time now.
Cool. And I think there probably would have been maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So when I came into this, right, like I came into this 7 years ago. I've been doing this for 7 years, and when I started, we were using Sales Logics, and there was an architect back end where I had to call up our guy to add a field, and those days are over. Like Salesforce, Sugar, Dynamics, Zoho, like all the major guys have this back end where people like me, and I say that as being a younger generation, but someone who knows Facebook. Someone who's never taken a computer programming course in my life. I'm just savvy, and I can configure both of these systems. So we can teach, what we've seen now is the market's really shifted. People aren't doing $250,000 service engagements anymore, typically, unless they're a huge company. It's usually we're doing a lot of the heavy work in the beginning for you, with you, and then we're teaching some of your capable people, couple people, we're giving them the brain power to own this thing, add fields, and we're always here for you for backup. So if you're not sure of the right way to do something, or you want to get a certain report, we're here. It's more of a consulting play now. Like, we're consulting you on your business. We're not taking your money for programming and sending it to India. Like, you're talking to Garrett, for example. Garrett's one of our analysts. So you tell him, I want to do this, and he'll tell you, oh yeah, let's make these 2 fields, that'll work. It's a consulting engagement and less so a programming engagement, and that's really awesome now. It makes CRM very obtainable to small businesses and all businesses alike. It's a really cool space to be in now. So we have some more new questions coming in. We'll just go for a couple more minutes, guys, and then we will, obviously, we have a great marketing department. We'll probably be giving at least some of you who ask questions a call personally, and we could help you each individually. But yes, we didn't even really get this. Do either CRM offer marketing automation, or do we have to purchase plugins or another system? So on the Sugar side, they do have a campaign capability, and you can send emails, but it sends through your email service provider. So we always tell people, if you're going to send more than, like a couple hundred emails, you should look at a plugin. We use Acton internally. It's fantastic. We do webinars on it all the time. We need to do another one, Jordan, real soon. It's not $1 million. It's not Eloqua. It's cheaper than Marketo. It's fantastic. So that's an automation system that plugs into Sugar. No, Sugar doesn't have one that's built in that's safe to use for big automation purposes. Dynamics, different, right? Garrett,
well,
on that
it's got
side?
the built-in, on the Dynamics platform side, you can connect it to marketing. And Dynamics Marketing is going to give you the multi-channel campaigns, the marketing resource management, it's going to give you the lead management, the social marketing, the marketing analytics. It's going to give you all those things. It's just built on the Dynamics platform, so it's a nice tight fit. But it was purchased from by Microsoft a while back. I forgot the name of it before it was Dynamics Marketing. But with that being said, if you were using a MailChimp or a Pardo or something like that, yeah, you can connect CRM to those tools as well. But the Dynamics is going to have a little bit more functionality, I think, than Sugar in terms of campaigns. I think it's a little bit more intricate, a little bit more, complex than what Sugar provides. And then, of course, they do what they do, and marketing resource programs do what they do best.
Yep.
It connects to all those systems. Yeah.
Awesome. And then a quick question on workflow in Dynamics. Do you get that whole flow and everything in the professional edition, or do you have to jump up to the higher level?
No, everything we showed you today is professional.
Awesome.
The only thing that you're moving to in sales productivity is integration with Office 365. In other words, take your entire environment and move it to the cloud.
Right.
But
Okay, good. So you get workflow, and that's the difference with Sugar. If you want advanced workflow, you're looking at the Enterprise Edition, and it's a really cool process engine. And that you'd be looking at the Enterprise Edition then.
Yeah, but I would say, Sonia, it's safe to say to the attendees today that unlike some other systems, Sugar and Dynamics do not nickel and dime you. Everything that we showed, is coming with the prices we're talking about. Whereas some solutions start to nickel and dime you, and all of a sudden you get into the $100, $150, $200 range.
Right, and the gorilla in the room is always Salesforce. And someone asked, how do these, have you taken people from Salesforce onto these platforms? And yeah, we have quite a bit. And that's, for good reason. I talk to companies who have like $250,000 to $500,000 Salesforce licensing and data fees, and it's killing them. And they're not a billion-dollar company either. It's crazy. So people sometimes are looking to get out of those fees, can move to either one of these platforms is a pretty good option for escaping extra fees. And yeah, Garrett's right. There's nothing that we showed you that was an add-on or out of the realm here, except for our Outlook plugin for Sugar. And the drawbacks of moving away from Salesforce, if you love the UI, well, that's obvious, but Salesforce has a bigger marketplace of third-party apps for sure. And that's because Salesforce is huge and it's been around. They're the most popular kid in the room. And people tend to develop against their program the fastest. These guys are right behind Salesforce. So I'd say that you're going to get a wider, platform of integrated apps if you stuck with Salesforce. And then, of course, moving CRMs, we're doing that all the time. It's not trivial. And we've come up with really nice ways of moving data and kind of automated process, but it's a pretty big effort. So when we engage with clients on switching platforms, we will do a free scoping engagement where we look at your current platform, like a Salesforce, and we give you an estimate on moving stuff over and rebuilding it, moving your data and history and all that. So we've done that quite a bit. Educational content, a ton. There's a ton of online resources for both. Sugar has a university. Dynamics has a similar thing, right, Garrett, where it's like self-learning kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's really nice. And then we're here. I always liken it. I was just talking to a client the other day. Oh, well, we've been on Sugar University. We've been walking our way through it. I'm like, it's kind of like giving a high school kid a chemistry book and saying, here, go learn chemistry, versus sitting in a class for a week or a semester. We are the teachers, and instead of reading the whole book, we teach you what you need to know and what is applicable to you. So, sorry to sound salesy, but it's true. If you do a private training that's tailored towards you, you can skip all the in-between chapters, and we give you the cliff notes. So it's a really good thing to invest in. And honestly, people come to us and they say, Salesforce sucks, Sugar sucks, and it's just not working for us. 99% of the time, it's because no one invested in it in the first place, no one configured it, and it's terrible to use because no one spent time tailoring it. And so we'll go in sometimes and do blueprints where we kind of look at your process and how broken is it. And just sometimes we can fix things just by adding and subtracting fields and training people. And that's it. Like Garrett, you were just with a client, flew out, did a training, probably the best money they've spent lately because people are going to use it now. Because
they were so unhappy. Yeah, they were so unhappy. And by the end of the day, we had turned the room, and they were just thrilled that they had this tool.
Yep, it's great. So we've got a lot of questions, and guys, we'll do some individual phone calls. I'm sorry if we didn't get to every question. I think we hit most all of them. But in the interest of everyone's hour, I think we'll end it here. We thank you so much for joining, and we'll send out the recording, and we'll also be making some phone calls. And please feel free. I'm sure you've got many emails from Jordan, our excellent marketing manager, who you can reply to him or reach out to us on our website. We have live chat and all of that. So thank you so much. And Garrett, thank you for your time. It was excellent.
Thank you, Sonia. That was a fantastic Sugar presentation.
Thanks. All right, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll have one of these again soon. Thanks a lot.